Hi everyone. Did it again, didn't I? Sorry about that. I started recording and was like looking at the camera and I'm like, the white balance is off, and then I realized it was me. So yeah, I'm wearing my Star Trek Next Generation hoodie. It's so old. My mom went down to Las Vegas and bought this at the Star Trek Experience. Oh, does it have a year on it? No, of course not. Nope. Whatever. I know it's old. It's got, well, a hole here, a hole right here. There's another one down there. Yeah. But it's really warm. If I could just like put this on one of you, I would, you know, and you guys just like, you'd realize, oh, this is really warm. You know, and it's not even itchy, because on the inside, it's not, it's really soft on the inside, whereas it's like rough on the outside. I don't know. It works as it is. You know, I'm not sure if you can even get something like this anymore. But in celebration, because wearing the Star Trek thing in celebration of, like, one of those weird moments last night. I was watching ABC comedy last night, and I just, like, plopped myself down on the couch and just watched television for, like, 2 hours because, well, it's hilarious. And that's, you know, what everyone should at least do. You know, people are like, oh, you should go out and find humor in society. Really? Millions of dollars are spent on television. At least watch it for the hilarity. I tell you, the Neighbors, far better than I was expecting. But anyways, so last night, during the first show, in the middle of the commercials, I was like, okay, because I had checked something on my Star Trek app. Close. Yeah, on my Star Trek, can't see that. Yeah, Star Trek app. And yeah, I was just looking around and was looking at pictures, and you know, my brain just sort of like when you boil a pot of like water for spaghetti, and it's like not quite boiling, but you the little like bloop, 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 and it's just bubbling in the background, and I'm just like, just thinking and thinking, laugh at the show, look back at the app in the middle of commercials, and I was like, well, when Aaron and I were watching the 2009 Star Trek film, when, you know, and I explained this last night in my video, I'll put a link down in the description in case for some reason you can't find it, or it didn't post to the feed or something, whatever. So yeah, it's, you know, he's like, and he sees this kid walking down, you know, hitchhiking. He's like, hey, Johnny! He just keeps driving. And you see the kid, clear as day, face on. He's like, you know, and so I was like, and that was like, after we watched that, it was a week or so. Like, I had already gotten the musings and stuff. I'm like, John Harrison. And it just kept bouncing around. John Harrison. And then here comes little, you know, Kid Kirk. And he's like, hey, Johnny. And I just went, ah, crap. Like, it was turning in my brain so much that it flew out so fast. Just, no. And I look at Aaron, and he's like, what? And I'm like, Johnny. And he went, oh, no. And I'm like, so, but, and I was like, it's got to be, could it be attached there somewhere? Because the kid's never brought up the rest of the movie. Well, okay, you know. And I look at stuff on the phone and I'm like, And I'm like, Google, who is Johnny in 2009 Star Trek? Sends me to a Wikipedia page. Or memory alpha page. And I'm like, okay, scroll. Alright, so the kid... This is pretty much what I was doing. So apparently the kid is supposed to be James T. Kirk's older brother, George Kirk, who is canon and is a research biologist. It seriously fell out of my hand. Because I support on the pinky, like everyone does. You know how you hold your phone. But my pinky just like went, and it just fell. And poor neighbors downstairs, my phone, it's heavy, as you can hear. And so, yeah. Yeah, and I just was like, oh no. Because like, the weird brain could be another Aspie thing. I went through the file box and I'm like, it just like kept, pulling files out. Didn't even care what it was. You're just throwing files out that are tagged into darkness. I'm like, okay, sweet, cool. And I finally just like look at the ground and I'm like, oh. In the 9 minutes before The Hobbit, he said he could help someone. I could help your daughter, who's suffering from obviously debilitating illness. Well, a research biologist would be able to do that. And a research biologist would also focus on genetics. And in the Super Bowl ad, who are you? Better. At what? Everything. So is he an augment? Probably. I believe, but I'm thinking, and I read this morning while I was looking at the article because my alarm went off and I'm like, slide, and my phone unlocked also, because that's what it does in the morning, and it brought up the Wikipedia, the Memory Alpha page, and I was like, but in the movie he wasn't designed to be. And there's some weird confusing data that the Johnny kid's not supposed to be his older brother, but he's still a friend of his, like a childhood friend of his. And I'm like, that kid's involved. That kid. He's involved. You want to watch the first movie again, you'll see it. Just boom. Kid's in there. 10 seconds. And the character, that's where I'm throwing it at, because with all the Star Trek fans out there that have been churning as to what this is, and J.J. Abrams gave us that he's canon and that he's a new villain. But we need a canon character. Well, everyone's like, oh, it's Gary. No. It's Khan. Not going to shoot himself in the foot and have to make a slightly recreation of all the original Star Trek films by making the second movie something about Khan. And augment, okay, that could be the shout back to because they were augments. But anyways, so yeah, that's pretty much what my thing's gone. I've gone shopping today. I'm going shopping today. It's 11:05 right now, and Kelly's on, so apparently she didn't die on her Empire State run, date building run. Probably have to go wake up Aaron here fairly soon. I will chit chat with you all later.